Have you ever seen a place that feels alive, even though nothing moves? Tonight, we're journeying into the heart of a story so chilling, you might want to leave the lights on. It's a tale about a man, a deserted road, and a carnival that shouldn't exist. In 2019, a man named Daniel Walker was driving through the vast, empty landscapes of rural Texas. He was heading home from a long work trip, the kind where the miles blur together and your mind starts to drift. The road was deserted, stretching out like a black ribbon under a sky painted in the bruised orange and purple of a dying sunset. And that's when he saw it. In the middle of absolute nowhere, rising against the horizon, a carnival. But something was deeply wrong. The moment he laid eyes on it, a sense of unease crawled over him. The grand retiring gates were eaten away by rust. The once vibrant paint on the signs and rides was peeling and faded like sun-bleached bones, and the Ferris wheel, that icon of summer joy, leaned at a sickening, unnatural angle, a silent skeleton against the twilight. There were no lights, no music, no sounds of laughter or excitement, and yet, despite the stillness, the air felt heavy, thick with a strange, buzzing anticipation. It was as if the whole place was holding its breath, waiting. Curiosity, that dangerous human trait, got the better of Daniel. He pulled his car over to the side of the dusty road, the engine's silence amplifying the eerie quiet. He got out and walked toward the rusted gates. With every step, the ground crunched under his shoes, the sound of dry leaves rustling like 1,000 tiny whispers. A faded hand-painted sign hung crookedly from a post. It read, "Welcome to Merrick's Carnival, open at dusk," but the sun had already bled below the horizon. Dusk was over. Night was falling. He pushed through the creaking gates and stepped into the main thoroughfare. Empty stalls lined the pathways, their colorful awnings tattered and torn. He saw a ring toss game, the prizes still neatly arranged on their pegs. A row of plush dolls, their button eyes seeming to follow his every move. He shook his head, trying to dismiss the feeling. It was just his imagination, tired from the long drive. But then he caught a scent on the breeze. It was the faint, unmistakable smell of popcorn. But it was wrong. It was stale, with a sharp metallic tang underneath, and something else, something thick and sweet, like decay. And then he heard it, laughter. It was soft, distant, the sound of children playing. But as he scanned the desolate grounds, he saw no one. The empty swings swayed gently in the wind, but there were no children pushing them. A cold knot of fear began to tighten in his stomach. This wasn't right. He had to leave. He turned back, trying to retrace his steps toward the entrance, but the path seemed different now. It felt longer, twisting and turning in ways he didn't remember. The layout of the carnival seemed to be shifting around him, closing him in. Panic, cold and sharp, began to rise in his throat. He started walking faster than jogging, his heart pounding against his ribs. Up ahead, he saw a large tent. It was tattered and weather-beaten on the outside, but as he stumbled through the flap, he was struck by how oddly pristine it was inside. In the center of the tent, a single carousel horse stood on its own, rocking slowly, rhythmically, back and forth. No music played, just the gentle, hypnotic creak of its springs. And then, a figure stepped out from behind it, a clown. Its face was caked in white paint, cracked around the edges. A smile was stretched impossibly wide across its face, a slash of garish red, but its eyes were just black, empty voids. "Welcome," it whispered, the voice a dry rustle, like dead leaves. "We've been waiting for you." Daniel scrambled backward, but the tent seemed to stretch, the exit growing farther away with every step he took. The clown just stood there, that horrific smile never wavering. He felt a primal need to run, to get away, but his legs felt like lead. More figures began to emerge from the shadows at the edge of the tent. Carnival workers in grimy uniforms, acrobats in faded costumes, all silent, all watching him, and all smiling that same wide, unnatural smile. Their movements were jerky and disjointed, like puppets on broken strings. He finally broke free and ran. He burst out of the tent and into the cold night air, but there was no escape. The air felt thick, heavy, like he was running through water. Every direction he turned, the path looked the same. The rides, which had been still just moments before, now groaned and creaked as if under an invisible weight. Shadows danced and writhed on the ground, moving independently of the dim moonlight, stretching and grasping like long, dark fingers. A voice called his name. It seemed to come from everywhere at once, and from nowhere at all. He stumbled, breathless, into a hall of mirrors. He caught his reflection and froze. It wasn't his. The face staring back at him was pale and gaunt, but it was the expression that terrified him. It was smiling. It leaned forward, its lips moving without sound, but he heard the words in his head. "We like your fear." Daniel spun around, but every mirror showed the same horrifying doppelganger, and then, Behind each reflection, the clown appeared, closer and closer, its grin growing wider with each appearance. One of the reflections stepped forward, breaking the plane of the glass, its hand reaching out for him. He ran again, blind with terror. A different tent flap opened onto a central courtyard, and there, looming over everything, was the Ferris wheel. And that's when he saw them. Faces, dozens of faces pressed against the glass of the wooden cars. Their eyes were wide with terror, their mouths open in silent screams. They were trapped. And as he stared in horror, he heard his own voice, clear as day, calling for help, echoing from the wheel itself. A sudden, sickening realization crashed down on him. The carnival didn't want visitors. It wanted captives. Each ride, each game, each doll with its watchful eyes. They were alive, not with a life of flesh and blood, but with the life of stolen souls. They were hungry, and they were always waiting for more. He turned to flee one last time, sprinting for where the main gates should have been, but they were gone. The entrance was gone. In its place stood a single dilapidated ticket booth. Inside, a man with hollow cheeks and sunken, shadowed eyes slowly extended a skeletal hand. "One ticket," the man rasped, his voice a dry, hollow whisper. "Your entry fee is eternity." Daniel finally understood. This place wasn't abandoned, it was a collector. It collected lost travelers, curious wanderers, anyone foolish enough to step inside. It collected their screams, their fear, their very essence. The carnival remembered every laugh, every tear, every single heartbeat of its victims. A lone carousel horse, riderless, galloped past him, its painted eyes gleaming in the dark. He tripped, falling hard onto the dusty ground, and in the blackness, he felt hands, cold, grasping hands, pulling at his clothes, his arms, his legs, many hands. The last thing he saw before the darkness consumed him was the clown's face, impossibly close, its black void eyes wide and endless. As it whispered, "You belong to us now." Weeks later, the highway remained empty. Some travelers passing through the area reported seeing strange, colorful lights in the distance, flickering in the dead of night. Others swore they could hear the faint, tinny sound of carousel music carried on the wind. But no one who went looking for Merrick's carnival ever returned. And those few who claimed to have seen it from the road, they all said the same thing. They said it felt like the rides were watching them, waiting for the next visitor foolish enough to arrive after dusk. So, let me ask you, if you were driving down a lonely road late at night and you saw a carnival in the middle of nowhere, open when it shouldn't be, would you enter or would you press your foot on the gas, drive past, and pray that what you just saw was only a story? Thanks for watching. If this story sent a shiver down your spine, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more tales from the shadows. Stay safe out there.